Murph. Welcome to our virtual presentation. For this report, my group decided to focus on the shoes industry because it's shoes. We all wear shoes, so we thought it was great to focus on. Here is our introduction slide, and I'll roll this out for you. So the shoe store sales in the U.S. is $38.6 billion, and that was recorded in 2018. The United States has the largest market, footwear market in the world, as it is a multi-billion industry. The footwear industry includes sneakers, high heels, athletic shoes, luxury footwear, etc.
Hi, my name is Caitlin Edwards, and my part of the group project is the microenvironment factor. And our group decided to do it based on shoes. So shoes right now are really high demand. I mean, everyone uses them, and especially for sports like running, baseball, basketball, soccer, golf, skateboarding, and even CrossFit. And some of the big brands that are really known right now is Reebok, Nike, Adidas, and Vans. Since there is only a certain amount of companies and there's a high demand on shoes, companies do have to be really aggressive with their advertising, which means that they do pop up everywhere. So for example, when you're watching YouTube, it does pop up in the middle of your videos, and when you're scrolling through Instagram, they pop up based on what you've searched or what you've liked, and they even pop up in your emails, so they're kind of everywhere. Another way they advertise is getting a high-profile athlete or celebrity to endorse their brand and their products. So for example, we have Michael Jordan, who is probably one of the biggest endorsers here, that he has his own line, which is still pretty big, and he's retired years ago, which helps. And I mean, Nike, on average, they spent about $1.4 billion just in the US and about $4 billion worldwide. So they have to be really aggressive so they can make a profit. And next is for shoes, when they want to sell it, they also have to break it into categories, making sure that they fit everyone's needs. So for example, if they want to dress casual or dressy or athletic, or based on their age or even their gender. And then they have to worry about their goods, so how they're making it. So rubber, leather, fabric, synthetics, even the foam that you use to stand on in your shoes. And most times they go out of the country for that. So for example, like China, because it is cheaper to make and just manufacture outside of the country because America is a little more expensive. And the average for making just a regular tennis shoe in China is about $27.50. And then they bring it back to the United States and they sell it for about an average of $75. So right there, they're making a big profit. And that is it.
For my half of the shoes presentation, I'm covering the microenvironmental factors on shoes. There's a couple different sections on this that I'm going to be covering. First, going to be starting with the environmental impact of shoes and how they tie into the overall health of our environment and how it ties into local environments where shoe factories are. The process of making shoes in general over the past 50 years has changed a lot. The use of chemicals and machinery has been tied in heavily with the process. And I know that now we're more technologically advanced with shoes and the process of making it. So we're making them more efficiently, and we are reducing the effect that we're tying into our environment and the disposal and the waste of it. I know that the disposal process is a big part of pollution that ties in with shoes. A lot of shoes aren't disposed of correctly. They're often found in the ocean or on the streets. The biggest part that ties into pollution with shoes is actually the production part. A lot of the making of parts of shoes that are put together use a lot of chemicals, use a lot of machinery, and this pollutes our environment pretty heavily. Some other macroenvironmental factors that we can cover over this would be how companies appeal to audiences and how they figure out the types of shoes they're going to be making, what they base their information off of. A lot of the information they collect for the process of making shoes is either from third parties, vendors, or agencies that release information. They also use phone books to get an idea of how to make a shoe that's going to be more appealing to a family and a need. They're looking to fill a need for each shoe that they're making. So a lot of that information that they gather, they're pulling from these sources, mainly phone books, agencies, and third parties. A lot of the technology that's going into shoes is developing as well. I know that worldwide new technology is being used because culturally shoes tie into, I'd say, pretty much every country. There's a different style everywhere. Of course, everybody likes to represent their own styles. And so the process of shoes, them being made, there's multiple ways to make them, and culturally that can tie in to it, I believe. I also believe that there is a huge sociocultural impact on shoes and the image that shoes make for themselves, the image that a brand likes to make for themselves. I know for a fact Nike creates the image of a young, healthy person that's trying to be in shape, and they're making a shoe to be mainly for that audience and that group of people. Whereas if you're looking for maybe like a boat shoe or something, that's going to appeal to a completely different audience as well. And so the image that a shoe creates for themselves ties heavily into who's wearing it, who they're trying to have buy the shoe, et cetera, et cetera.
Hi there, my name is Rachel. I am a member of the Shoe Industry Report group, and I'm going to be talking a little bit today about the shoe industry in general, and mainly the threats and opportunities that go along with it. So a little bit of history on footwear in general. It actually does date all the way back to 1250 BC, obviously starting out with sandals and such in Egypt, and then sort of just transitioning and evolving from there. Basically, as long as humans have been walking around, there has been a need for shoes due to recent events that nobody had really foreseen. There have been some downfalls, and the shoe industry, as well as many others, have been affected by the current pandemic that is going on. So we're going to talk about that a little bit too. Basically, until we somehow trade in walking for maybe hoverboards or jetpacks, which could be in the near future, there will continue to be a need for shoes. So the industry isn't going to go away anytime soon. The US actually has the largest market for footwear in the world. They generally do about $79.86 billion yearly in revenue, and they generally also go along with about a 3% growth rate each year, so it's not going anywhere. Now, because of the need for protective footwear in basically anywhere in the world, there are limited threats, but like I said, one threat that has come up recently would be the pandemic, only because stores are closed, and there is a lot of people that depend mainly on going into stores, being able to look at the shoes that they need and purchase from there. Now, there is still the opportunity to purchase online, but it still does greatly impact the industry in general. Mainly people who have specific medical needs that require them to have especially molded shoes for their feet, any podiatry issues and stuff. Those are a lot more difficult to just get online. You really got to be able to have them specially made for you. So that has also been an issue. As for opportunities in the industry, basically there's an endless amount. as, technology continues to progress in the world and everything, shoes and materials and production, all of that is going to grow and expand. Now, an obvious way at this point that would make sense to improve the industry itself would be in production and materials. Basically finding a better way to manufacture the shoes, better factories, just better materials to be used, better ways to make the shoes without maybe, having so much manual labor on people, and switching over to machines more would definitely save money in the industry in general for all of the factories and, employees and whatnot, and obviously just materials. Better, more affordable materials that will hold up better with the shoes, materials that are even recyclable and better for the environment, that are going to last longer and be more sustainable. That's a clear way to go at this point as well. And that's all I have for the threats and opportunities of the shoe industry. So thank you for listening.
Okay, so my piece in the industry report focused on important firms in the industry. So I did a lot of research, and the two most important firms in the shoe industry is Nike, which is the most largest footwear brand in the world, and then Adidas, which is the second largest in the world, and it is the most popular and top-selling shoe brand in Europe. So Nike was founded in 1964. And the brand's mission is to bring inspiration and innovation everywhere to every athlete in the world. What they mean by athlete is, if you have a body, you are an athlete. So anyone can wear these shoes. What is really great about Nike is their high-performance shoes, and how their competitive advantage is how they have really stylish and great quality shoes, and they also have great brand equity, which is really great because that builds customer trust. So yeah. Okay, so the Adidas footwear company continues to rise with their success by using new technologies and by really focusing on the sport aspect of the shoes. Adidas brand revenue was $26.8 billion in 2019, so that is the most current number on that. Adidas was founded in Germany in 1949, which I didn't know, which is very cool. And it is the brand's iconic 3-mark stripe is Europe's largest selling athletic shoe brand. So Adidas' brand mission is to be the best sports company in the world. What does that mean? Well, to us, best means that we design, build, and sell sports products in the world with the best service and experience, and that we do in a sustainable way. So that is pretty cool.
My name is Henson, and my slide was on the future of this industry. So, the global athletic footwear industry is thought to exceed $110 billion by 2025 due to many technological advancements being incorporated. Footwear innovators are incorporating many comfort features and technological features such as carry-on heartbeat sensors / monitors. Since there are many more desires for shoe comfort, footwear designers have taken their innovations further to provide it as easily as possible. With cross-industry cooperation, everyday problematic issues like sweating and unraveling laces can be solved. Therefore, they have started working on new advancements such as embedding heating in massage pads, as well as automatically fastening features. Many big shoe producing companies such as Nike and Reebok agree that athleisure is not just a trend. They believe that people tend to be more on the go and enjoy more active leisure time, which influences footwear choices to be more comfort oriented. In the U.S., the sales of so-called sport leisure shoes have risen 17% in 2017, whereas sports performance footwear has been on an annual decline of 10%. This suggests that as much as consumers value their comfort, they do not sacrifice it for the style. Instead, the features need to be combined. In the near future, the production of shoes are now in the process of being produced more environmentally friendly. The current trend is tackling plastic pollution via recycling. Vivo Barefoot has designed a line of shoes where each pair is made of 17 recycled water bottles. Timberland not only collects plastic waste to be reused, but also in doing this, they offer jobs to those in need. Adidas has also taken their step towards the cause by promising to only use recycled for their products by 2024. In the future, the industry has a chance of reinventing itself to become an alternative, perhaps even more sustainable way of transportation. Retail will become educational and experiential before it comes on demand. Supply chains will move local and become increasingly inventoryless. Designers will start shoe brands in droves. Consolidation is inevitable. The footwear industry will surpass $600 billion by 2025, and science and sustainability will finally matter.
To conclude the shoes industry report, I'm just going to be touching on some key topics that we covered through our PowerPoint. To start off, the shoe industry is nearly an $80 billion industry. It's going to forever continue to grow. Some pioneering companies in this industry are Nike and Adidas. Nike and Adidas are the top leaders for all shoe companies. They're pioneering the way that shoes are made, changing comfortability, and making lots of room for smaller companies to also come through in this market. Another factor that we can cover through our PowerPoint was the environmental impact that shoes make. Shoes often are disposed of incorrectly, and the process of making shoes is costly to the environment and does take a toll. So as we progress through time, we just gotta hope that the technology for shoes gets better and we reduce the impact that we take on our environment. Also, I'd like to finish with how culturally shoes impact us worldwide. It's a part of our identity. Everybody has a shoe that fits their personality, and shoe companies recognize that and they aim for that. They have certain markets that they aim for and they make shoes around those. So shoes are culturally accepted around the world.